Hello, good day, viewers. Into this tutorial, I will introduce numbers to you. What are numbers? In this tutorial, I will differentiate between numbers, whole numbers, and integers. So, if we said numbers, we have the two type of numbers that we may familiar with it is that we have the first one, which is what? We have the imaginary numbers, and then we have what? We have the real numbers. So what are imaginary numbers? Imaginary numbers, we locate them as what? As I. But in mathematics, imaginary number is the same thing as what? Square root of what? Of a negative 1. So therefore, imaginary number in mathematics is what? Square root of what? Of negative 1. The reason why I it is equals to square root of negative 1 is that square root of what? Whenever you squared negative 1, it is what? It is not a real number. So therefore, we indicate it as what? As rational what? Okay, sorry, as imaginary numbers. If you could remember, in complex number, we have a real fact and what? Complex number is a combination of a real and imaginary fact. Where, for instance, I have 4 plus what? 4 plus 5i. This is what? This is the imaginary part, and therefore this is what? This is the real fact. So therefore, what are real numbers? In real numbers, we have irrational and irrational. So first we have what? We have rational numbers, and therefore we have what? We have irrational what? Irrational numbers. So therefore, what are rational numbers? Rational numbers are numbers. So first, this is what? This is 4 over what? 4 over 5. 4 over 5 is what? Is irrational numbers. So what of what? What of, let's say, P over what? P over Q. Yes, let me say P over Q. P over Q is also a what? A natural. Okay, so it's also irrational numbers, because rational number is what? Is any number that what? That can divide itself by what? By another what? Numbers. For instance, I can say x over what? X over y, they are also called what? Rational numbers. So, but what are irrational numbers? Irrational numbers, from the word irrational, it is what? It is, maybe we can say it is an opposite, but irrational numbers are what? Are numbers that what? That are in square roots. Let's say we have the square root of what? Square root of x. Square root of x is what? Is an irrational numbers. And therefore also the square root of what? Square root of what? 2, and then square root of what? 4, they are called what? They are irrational numbers. So therefore, the difference between what? Rational and irrational number is, rational number is any number that what? That can divide itself by another number. But what of irrational number? So first, if I'm asked, what is 0 point what? 0.3333. Is it a rational number or irrational number? This is a rational number, because if you say 1 divided by 3, it will give you 0.33333. And let's check for 0. What? 0.5. Is 0.5 rational or irrational number? 0.5 is what? 0.5 is also what? Is also a rational number. Why? Because 1 over what? 1 over 2 is equals to 0.5. What of pi? If we take what? The value of pi. Let's say square root of what? Square root of 5. Square root of 5 is an irrational number, because pi is the same thing as 3.142. And if you could press your calculator and see, the number are not repeating themselves. There are what? There are different numbers. So therefore, square root of what? Square root of pi, it is what? It is also what? It is also an irrational numbers. So therefore, let me talk on what? Let's see the integers. So first we have what? Integer. What are integers? Integers are positive or negative whole number, including what? Including 0. Are positive or negative whole numbers, including 0. So therefore, so first I have this number, right? Let me say I have 0 and I have what? I have 1, 2, 3, and what? And 4. And therefore I have negative 1, I have negative 2, and I have negative 3. So therefore, all this is what? This is integer, because integer, it consists of either negative number, either 0, and either what? Either 1 or 2 up to infinity. But let me see on what? Let's talk about the whole number. What is whole number? Whole number, it starts from what? From 0 to infinity. So therefore, negative numbers are not what? Whole number. From 0 to infinity are called what? They are called the whole numbers. But the negative and positive numbers are what? Negative and positive numbers are what? Are the integers. So therefore, whole numbers are what? Are subset of integers, because all whole numbers are what? Are integers, but not all integers are what? Are whole number. You have to take note of that. Whole number is what? Is a subset of integer, because all the whole numbers are what? Are found in what? They can be found, they are integer. All whole number are integer, but not all integer are whole number, because the integers are negative and positive whole number, so therefore they are not whole numbers. I hope you get it clear. This is what? This is whole numbers, and the complete, it is called what? It is called integer. Yes, but you have to know what is prime number, what is natural number. What are natural numbers? Let's see natural numbers. Natural numbers. So natural numbers are what? Are the counting of numbers that we usually use. So therefore, the difference is clear. This from here to infinity are called what? Are called the natural what? Natural numbers. So therefore, all these are integers, and from 0 to infinity are what? They are whole numbers. And from 1 to infinity, they are called what? They are called natural numbers. So first, what are the properties of what? The properties of what? Of natural numbers. So therefore, the properties of natural numbers, let's say suppose the first property that I just want you to know, addition and multiplication are commutative. Suppose if I have m, n are elements of what? Of natural numbers. So what did I mean by addition and multiplication are commutative? It means that m plus n is the same thing as what? As n plus m. So this is the first property of what? First properties of natural numbers. Addition and multiplication are commutative. So therefore also addition and multiplication are associated. So first, for the first property, I say if m, n are elements of the such, if n, m and n are the element of this natural number, they are all natural numbers. So therefore, suppose to I have m, n, and phi are elements, they are what? They are all natural numbers. So what should I do to prove that it is associated? We know that associating, if m plus what? M plus n plus p, it is the same thing as what? M plus what? N plus what? Plus p. And therefore for multiplication, m multiplied by n multiplied by p is the same thing as what? As m multiplied by what? N plus what? Plus p. So therefore this is the second properties of what? Of natural numbers. Let's say I have x squared. X squared minus what? Minus 4, it is equals to 0. So therefore x squared should be equal to, if the negative sign cross the equal sign, it will become what? Positive. So therefore if I square root of both sides, square will cancel square, and therefore x will be equals to what? Square root of 4 is what? Square root of 4 is 2. So therefore x is equals to what? 2. But we all know that as usual, we are putting 2, but it's not 2. It is two numbers. We are having two numbers. So therefore, there's what we call, as I explained before, we have rational numbers. What are rational numbers? They are 4 over what? 3. And therefore, we have irrational. Irrational, which is what? Which are the square root. So according to irrational, if you squared any number, you have plus or minus. So therefore, it will become what? Plus or minus of what? Plus or minus of 2. So this is what I just want you to know in what? In natural number. So this is all I have for you for numbers. I differentiate the integers and whole numbers to you. So therefore, into this tutorial, we talk about some key points under numbers. Kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon so that you will be notified immediately if I uploaded a new content. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.